Crucifixion in the ancient world. In the ancient world, crucifixion was a method of capital punishment, where a victim was tied and nailed to a large wooden cross and left to hang until their death. The cross was made in the shape of the letter T, and it was used by the Carthaginians, the Greeks, and the Persians. Even Sennacherib, the Assyrian king, used a form of crucifixion, where prisoners were strung up on poles with the pole inserted through their ribs. However, crucifixions are most famously known by their use from the Romans, who eventually crucified Jesus Christ. During a crucifixion, the victim was scourged, meaning that they were beaten with a whip to inflict severe pain. The purpose of scourging was to weaken the victim, and they were also insulted and humiliated while they were forced to carry the cross to the site of their execution. The cross was roughly 300 to 400 pounds, which is equivalent to 135 to 180 kilograms. After that, the victim's wrists and heel bones would be tied and nailed to the beam, with the cross being raised and fixed onto an upright post. When placed upon the cross, the victim's arms were outstretched, where they struggled to breathe and experienced excruciating pain. The victim was also forced to be naked to further humiliate them. A victim would eventually die due to either exhaustion, asphyxiation, shock, or dehydration. However, when the whole body weight was supported by the stretched arms, the typical cause of death was asphyxiation. The victim had severe difficulty inhaling due to the hyperexpansion of the chest muscles and lungs. Crucifixions were profound in Roman provinces to maintain control and authority over their conquered regions. In these instances, crucifixions were led by a centurion. Crucifixion was intended to provide a slow, painful death that was gruesome, humiliating, and out in the public. Death by crucifixion could be as fast as 6 hours from the time the victim was crucified. However, in some instances, victims could be alive for as long as 4 days. Even Alexander the Great crucified 2,000 survivors after his siege of the Phoenician city of Tyre. In Carthage, crucifixion could even be imposed on generals for suffering a major defeat. In Rome, the famous politician Crassus ordered roughly 6,000 slaves to be crucified on either side of the Appian Way. Their bodies were left there in a rotting state to emphasize what would happen to those who opposed the Romans. Crucifixion was undoubtedly used for propaganda to ensure that the population aligned with the ideas and goals of the ruling civilization. In the year 337, Constantine the Great, the first Christian emperor, abolished crucifixion in the Roman Empire out of respect for Jesus Christ, its most famous victim.